Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Jesus Lucia Tarot. I am Stephanie and today is a very special kind of reading. It's a mystery reading, and so how this is going to work is I'm going to ask you to keep your question or the topic of your choice in your heart, in your head, in your mind, and we're going to try and answer it with the oracle and tarot cards that I pull. This is how I used to do it back when I first started tarot, and the reasoning behind this is that if people don't want to share their particular situation with somebody, it's going to kind of prevent the information from coming through. So I tell them to keep it to themselves, and then I'll just draw cards and explain to them what I see or how to go about it. And typically this brought some pretty good results, and people would then tell me after I was done reading that a lot of what I said made sense to them, but it offered them that option of privacy. So I'm going to try and recreate that same kind of reading through this particular video. So for this particular video, I really need you to take a few deep breaths and think about the situation at hand. And we have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Sun and Moon Tarot. Pile 2, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot. Pile 3, we have Tarot of the Divine. Pile 4, we have the Mythos Tarot. And pile 5, we have the Prism Tarot. So like I said earlier, think of your question in mind. Be open to receiving messages from the universe or from your higher divine guidance, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. So this is a mystery reading and I am live shuffling everything. I will film the intro once I am done with all the readings today. So if it seems a little weird, this is why. But if you chose pile 1, then we have a reading here for you. We're going to go ahead and get your oracles to give some insight into what this question that you want answered is, and then we're going to dive into the tarot to get something deeper. And it's going to be a little bit ambiguous, but we're going to try and make this work, just because this is the old way that I used to do my readings. I would ask my friends to have a question in mind, and then I would answer it. And most of the time I would actually get it right, or if they wanted to share what it was, once they told me what it was, I would reinterpret the cards to let them fit a little bit more. But let's see where this goes. So for my pile 1, we have Cracked Open, Rock Bottom, Surrender to the Alchemy of Life. It's giving 10 of Swords, where you have just either unleashed something or let go of something. It's giving Tower moment. So I feel like some particular thing has happened in your life, and it's kind of like I'm hearing Jesus take the wheel. Like you're surrendering to the miracles of the universe because you're kind of done taking control over whatever this particular situation is. We also have Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, Higher Learning. This could have something to do with your education. It came out reversed, and this is not really a deck that you take reversed, but that's making me think that maybe this is what you have let go, is the notion that you have to study more, or that you've let go of some kind of education path. It doesn't necessarily have to be this. It could also be a career, but Earth School lets me know that you are taking lessons and being grounded from the school of the universe for sure, because there's definitely something that has left you feeling either uprooted or like you don't know what you are doing. So there's a sense of giving up and just going with the flow or allowing the universe to come through, because I feel like some of you have just, the overall energy is that you've given up. We got 3 cards from the Cosmos Oracle. First one is Patience, number 28. So somebody here could be 28 years of age, but mostly I'm seeing that you are learning patience with yourself, with others, with situations, and with whatever the universe has to offer you. If you're not actively attempting to learn patience, I feel like you will, just because you have no choice but to. Again, some of you have given up on something, and it's like there's nothing left here but love and patience. The other card you got is Resilience, number 26, Determination, Willpower, and Momentum. And I really do see you moving forward regardless. It's kind of like let's say you've lost your way. Like the map is just going crazy and you're lost and you know you're nowhere near, but you're just going to keep going until you find something familiar or you see a sign that is going to point you in the right direction. This is what the Resilience card is giving me here, because the energy I'm getting is just, it's so patient. I feel like some of you are learning to love yourself and be very forgiving of both yourself and others. And it's giving an energy of being in control of yourself because you can't control anything else around you. We also have the Trailblazer, number 43. I am seeing that this is actually meant to be part of your soul's growth, believe it or not. It's teaching you that going through a humbling, let's call it, because that's what I'm hearing. I feel like you feel humbled. Going through this quote, quote, humbling will actually allow you to take reins of your life going forward. Like you will learn how to better take control of the things within your life so that you know how to anticipate things that you may or may not experience. It's like being ready. It's like already having played this course. So when you go back and replay it, you know exactly what to look out for, you know exactly what to do, how to prepare. Because a lot of you felt that whatever it was that you left behind or that you've switched around, whatever this tower moment was, you feel that it happened because you were unprepared in some way, shape, or form. So going forward, you will learn to prepare for everything. It's giving me an energy of growing up, regardless of your age here, and growing wiser. You're growing wiser, especially because we have 26 and 28. Let me put them in numerological order. So this could have been a span of 2 years. And then over here we have 43. So you can take these to be ages, or you could just take these to be like important numbers within your life. But with the Trailblazer, ambition, assertiveness, and self-reliance. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's like you're learning to be assertive and independent. And when you get that energy, it's like nothing can bother you and nothing can annoy you because your life is no longer in anybody else's hands, or somebody else's energy or decisions are no longer affecting you. You know that you are in total control of yourself and your decisions as well as where you go in life. It's really a beautiful energy, especially the example I like to use is like relationships because it's just easy to relate to. But let's say you left behind a relationship where your partner made maybe too many decisions or was very controlling, or you had to really accommodate your life around whatever they wanted. Now that you're no longer in this partnership, you're free to do whatever it is that you want. And going forward, dating, you will know what to look out for in relationships because you've learned what you don't want. So now you know. You're a little bit closer to knowing what you do want, if that makes sense. I'm going to get more cards for you from the Sacred Feminine Oracle. It's a very beautiful oracle. We have unrecognized. 26 is coming up twice, so maybe some of you are at the age 26, or the age 26 could have been important. We also have healer. So I do see a very deep healing. I want to put this here because these colors are very similar. And it's number 23, 26. I feel like this is definitely a very healing moment for you. And by the end of this healing journey, because healing does seem to come in chapters sometimes to us, you're going to be very unrecognizable. People are going to notice a difference between you now, or you whenever you come out of this particular situation, and you from 2, 3, 4, however many years ago. You're going to look so unrecognizable. You're even going to sound very different is what I'm hearing, especially if you used to be very soft-spoken, or if you used to be afraid to speak your mind. You're no longer doing that. You're basically telling people how you feel and why you feel it. The unrecognizable card is very beautiful because I see the snow here. It makes me think how after like the seasons, after a winter snow, like spring brings up all these flowers, and even though we do expect the flowers to come up, we don't, it's like we forget just how beautiful they are. We forget like how much they provide for the earth with the pollen and with the fertilizes the planet. I might be off. I'm not a plant person, but it's like we forget how beautiful these flowers are until we go through this winter season. And I really do feel you're going through a little bit of a winter of the soul here, where there's something that has ended. So all that we're waiting for is this upcoming new, brighter, more vibrant version of you. Because I really do feel that a lot of you are up-leveling either in your personality, not saying that your previous personality wasn't okay, but it's like you're taking control of your life and you're taking charge of whatever comes in and out of your life, or whatever it is that you do. For some of you, you're getting very, very empowered, and it's very interesting. Some people are not gonna know how to handle you because, like I said, you're unrecognizable. And that's a good thing sometimes when people, especially people that thought you couldn't make it, they see you and they realize, wow, you've really changed. Because we're supposed to change, and we're supposed to change for the better. So we got cards from the What's in your stars deck? We have Pisces imagination. Take a walk on a rainbow. Reality is not always the space you need to inhabit. What worlds can you create in your mind's eye? Imagination can inflate your fears, but it can also be used to piece together exciting new ideas and possibilities. I see you being in escapist mode because it's actually giving me hermit. And whenever I think of hermit mode, let's say you've gone through, let's stick with the example of the breakup, and you decide to hole yourself up in your room, in your house, apartment, whatever, wherever it is that you are, that you live. And you kind of escape for a few weeks, maybe into a book or two, maybe into video games, maybe just into whatever it is that you're doing. Some people escape and work, and that's okay. I feel like within that space, you've done a lot of growing, even if either you or other people have been telling you that you've been wasting your time. I feel like it was necessary for your mind or your heart to take a break from everything and just kind of numb it out with some sort of fantasy. I also see somebody like binge watching Netflix. I feel like a lot of people do that as well. But there's something here about escapism being your friend right now, and it coincides with the hermit mode that you've been in. Because I can tell that you're either coming out of this or you may still be going through it. Let's get one more card from this deck. I'm getting this one. Scorpio, trust or caution. Two hearts meet. You may feel trusting and ready for a heartfelt connection, or you may be feeling guarded, afraid to put yourself out there. Go slowly and have faith in yourself. Trust that you are the best judge of when it's safe to open your heart. Some of you are learning to listen to your heart, especially, let's stick with the dating situation here, of knowing when it's time or when it's not time to put yourself back out there, if you even want to put yourself back out there. I feel like a lot of people lately are realizing that they don't even really want or need a connection or a relationship in order to thrive. They'd rather just focus on their friends. And maybe it's also that. Maybe some days you don't want to hang out with friends and some days you do. But it's about listening to your heart and understanding what it really wants, as opposed to what society tells you should have, or even what your peers say you should have. Let's say you have a bunch of friends and they're all married or they're all in relationships, like committed relationships, and you felt that you only wanted one because they all of them had that as well. I feel like you're learning to listen to yourself here. You're understanding what it is that you want and what you don't want. I feel like some of you don't want to be in relationships just because that's what is done at your age or within your community, your culture, whatever this is. I feel like if you do want love, it's going to be something that is honest, that it's true to yourself, and that grows both you and your partner. So you're not really concerned. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what is going on. You're listening to your heart, and you don't care what anybody else says because they don't have your heart. So how can they know what's good for you? And I feel like this is something that came about in this little imaginative hermit mode that you've been in, that you are coming out of. And like I said, you're going to be unrecognizable to the point where you're going to change so much that maybe some people just don't vibe with you anymore, and that's okay. You don't have to keep them around if they're not understanding you or if they don't want to see things your way. This is your life, not theirs. But I really do love this energy pile one, where you are understanding who you are and standing in your power and sticking true to your heart. After all, we do have the healer here, and this is an anatomical heart, and this is how I'm seeing your heart right now, where you watered it and now all these beautiful plants are growing, like all this abundant energy is just flowing through. Even this what is it called, vein, artery, typically filled with blood, is now looking like water. It's nourishing you. You are nourishing your heart in the only way that you know how, and that's going to be very it's going to be customized to however you do it. It's going to be different for everybody, but I understand that you are learning to understand yourself even more and more every day, and that's quite beautiful. And I'm looking at the colors here. There's a lot of green, but also a lot of this, I don't know how it looks in the camera, but it's like orangey, like a light orange, a combination of sacral, which lets me know that you've been very creative lately, or that you've been paying attention to the activities you do. Maybe some of you have taken up like exercise or some form of physical activity that allows you to release emotion. I'm thinking of somatic yoga for some reason. And then the green lets me know that you've been focusing on the heart chakra center as well, listening to your heart, listening to the space between the soul that you seem to not always listen to, or that feels a little empty. We are shedding light on that. But yeah, you've been through a little bit of an emotional, I don't want to say turmoil, but definitely an emotional upheaval here. But let's go ahead to the tarot to see what else this mystery reading has to provide for you. And the tarot may or may not have anything to do with what we just spoke about in these oracles. We're just allowing the universe to come through to help answer your question or your situation at hand here. For you, let me go ahead and use the Sun and Moon Tarot. I think I'm going to use tarot decks to make the piles here, because I don't even know how many piles are going to be in this reading. I'm just doing as many readings until I feel satisfied. And likewise, pile 1, some of you are learning to listen to your intuition and to your heart's desire. It's all about making you happy, because nobody else is going to make you happy. That's your job. But let's do this past, present, future style to get a timeline of what's going on here and get a story. So past, we have Princess of Wands. This is the Page of Wands. I feel like in the past, you've initiated a lot of things. You've created a lot, whether that's creative projects, whether that's initiating relationships or friendships, or even like certain life paths. Some of you may have felt stuck in this energy of always repeating a starting over kind of energy. We have present energy. We have Temperance, learning to listen to what needs attention. It's balance, but focusing that balance on where it needs to be. So sometimes we need to focus a little bit more on one aspect of ourselves than the other, and that's okay. You are learning to focus balance on what needs it. And the Nine of Cups, future, I do see a lot of abundance and happiness and emotional satisfaction coming into your future, because you worked really hard on it. You, like I said earlier, you understand that happiness doesn't come from anybody else but yourself. So if you can't find the happiness within your own heart, within your own self, how are you going to expect that from anybody else? And likewise, you can't make anybody happy either. Well, that sounded wrong. It's not your job to make anybody happy either. So I feel like going forward, you're going to understand that the people you allow into your lives, you're not going to look for potential. You're not going to be looking for somebody who's too needy or clingy. You're going to be finding a perfect balance of whatever it is that you need within the relationship that you want with any particular person. That means that they themselves know how to either spend time alone or spend time with you, depending on what's going on here. You're just learning what happiness means to you and what you would like happiness to mean to the people around you. This could include the workplace as well. Like, what do you need from a workplace? Are you just there for the benefits? Are you there for the pay? Do you like to really enmesh yourself in work culture, or do you prefer to work alone? I feel like there's something about your life progress and the way you see your life that is shifting a lot. Maybe some of you are trying to manifest an ideal life and you've already written a lot of these characteristics down in a notebook somewhere. And I feel like really, really pay attention to that and see exactly what it is that is going to make your life happy. We're going to clarify the Princess of Wands with the Chariot, letting me know that in the past, you may have moved things along a little too quickly. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's relationships, career, or certain life paths that you wanted to start. It's like you were moving very fast because you felt that time was running out. And this is what used to happen to me. I would move fast because I felt like a sense of anxiety that if I didn't do things right away, then I would miss out on them or things would pass me by. And I've learned that sometimes that's just a form of anxiety. Sometimes it's just the trauma talking, letting me think that I don't have all the time in the world to get things done. And that may be true for some things, but in general, whatever is meant to be for you will not pass you by. It will not. And it's really hard to learn that sometimes. It's hard to understand, but this is very true. What is meant for you will arrive at exactly the right time. It will walk with you. It will hold your hand. It will make you feel safe, and it will not leave you so easily. Doesn't matter if it's a life path, a person, a project, whatever this is. It's meant to nourish you, and you're meant to nourish it in return. Let's clarify the present Temperance. We have the Five of Swords. Win some, lose some. I don't like to see this card as defeat. I see it as more of a win, but you had to lose something. So it's mostly a win, but at the cost of some aspect or another. So I feel like this is just the lessons you've learned because you've had to... I feel like something came off balance. And even though you left behind this situation or this situation came to an end, you're grateful for that. But now you're having to go back and redo the work that you either didn't really thoroughly think through, or that you left in the hands of somebody else and they messed it up somehow, or maybe some inner conflict there that you didn't realize was there. Like something is bubbling to the surface and now you have to tend to it. And this is that healing mode that you may currently be in. I feel like some of you will be in various stages of the healing mode that is going on. But because it's in the present tense, that's a song by Radiohead, and I've been listening to Radiohead. It's in the present tense. I feel like some of you are still going through it. Even though you may think you're already over it, there might be like one teeny tiny little aspect of it that you're overlooking. And that's just up to you whether you want to work on it now or later. But it's definitely worth looking into when you do your shadow work next time. Yeah, I keep hearing the present tense. Distance is like a weapon of self-defense. Oh, I have to listen to that song again. Yeah, look up the present tense by Radiohead. The lyrics themselves are pretty deep, as all Radiohead songs are. But with happiness, let's clarify the Nine of Cups. Let's clarify the future or potential future energy. So some of you are focusing on love prospects, but more than that, I feel like you're focusing on the things that are going to bring joy into your life, the things that make you feel whole. Because we also have, and I like this deck for this reason, we also have like these animals, we have these the children in the background. For some people, if you're already in a loving, committed relationship, you might be looking for something else to further this joy that you have with your partner. And if you're single and looking for a partner, this could be it. But if you are single and are okay remaining single, you don't really care for love and relationship, this is just what is going to complete your life. Some of you feel that something is missing. It could be the ideal career. It could be that one home that you've always wanted. It could even be the environment you're in. Maybe some of you have everything, but the one thing you may not like is where you live. And there's something here about just aiming for perfection in life. And I think a lot of us are always going to have that. It's what drives us forward. It's what gives us purpose and momentum. But some of you are really, really focusing on having the best life ever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's a beautiful thing to just always want to keep improving. And I do see that coming through with the joy you bring in life, with the good, how do I put this? I don't want to say just good vibration because I feel like it's a little too woo-woo. It's like, if you bring goodness into life, life will put you in that goodness, you know? It's like you have to show the universe a little bit of what it is that you want so that it can bring it to you. Even if it's just making the vision board, even if it's just saying it out loud to the universe. My favorite method of doing this is just saying it out loud. And sometimes it happens because I'm too impatient to sit around and make a cute little vision board. I do admire the people who do, especially those of you who have like amazing aesthetics. I admire that so much because I do not have the patience, and I've tried so hard to do vision boards, but I'd rather just say it out loud or write it down somewhere. But I definitely see this here where you are focusing on the most abundant, beautiful life here. I'm going to clarify these cards one more time, and then we're moving on to advice. So we got 2 more cards for the past energy. There's definitely a lot in the past that you have a hard time letting go with the 4 of Pentacles here. The Magician came up, especially if you've tried manifesting things in the past. Maybe there's a little bit of fear here that you might manifest something again and it will go wrong again. But like I said earlier, you've played this course before. Go back and now you know how to play it even more. Like if you've done this before, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th time around, it's going to be even better because you're going to look for things that you didn't look for those other times that you went through it. And I know it seems repetitive. I know it seems annoying that you have to keep doing this, and it's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow here, but the universe will keep showing us the same lesson until we've learned it. Like we're going to keep repeating that same lesson until we have learned it. But every time you get better, right? Every time there's something better and better about it, even if it's just the way you handle yourself. Let's clarify the present one more time. King of Pentacles, I see that you are focusing on your stability. You are focusing on your money even, and in some cases your health. And you understand that slow and steady wins the race, or at the very least, I'm hearing slow and strong, or strong and steady. You're building foundations here. You want to make sure that everything is set in stone, that it's more solid than it was before. Something about stability here, because maybe in the past that was something you didn't really care about. And now it's like you're focusing on that particular earth-like energy that you know you need going forward. For some of you, it's going to be your finances. And then for others, it's going to be something set in stone is what I'm seeing, especially if you're working with documentation, making sure you revise everything in that document, making sure that everything is written out properly, making sure that everything goes where it's supposed to go. You know better. You definitely know better by now. And then one more card for the future. You get 2 cards actually. So we have the Ten of Swords and 8 of Wands. What I'm learning is that what I'm seeing is that you're learning that anytime you hit rock bottom, like you do with the Ten of Swords here, you will move on from it quickly. Again, it's picking yourself back up and moving on to better things. Because yes, we can't avoid, you know, heartbreak. We can't avoid bad things happening in life, but it's how we respond to them, what we can control. It's responding to how we allow those things to affect us. And it's one thing to just allow it to make us either feel sad or bring us down somehow, but knowing you can get back up whenever you want, even if it's difficult, is just one more proof of your resilience here. Because I really do feel that you've become very resilient, pile 1, and I'm very proud of you for learning this, because I see that you definitely have everything it takes to make your life exactly as beautiful as you think it is, or as you believe it should be, as it should be. Honestly, you deserve this. Maybe some of you are dealing with feelings of not deserving a wonderful life, and I feel like that's one more thing you may have to look into, pile 1, because I know for sure that you deserve the most beautiful things. You deserve the most abundant, amazing, fulfilling life, and you deserve to be happy and joyous every day, filled with so much love from both yourself and the people around you who definitely and truly love you and prove this to you every day. You deserve beautiful days. Again, not saying that there won't be awful days, but you know that there's going to be way more wonderful days than terrible ones. And that's all of that in itself is very worth living and striving for. This is beautiful energy. I can just feel that you are digging yourself out of whatever hole you have fallen into, or whatever it is here, pile 1. Very beautiful energy. But let's move on to the closing advice. Let me use, like I said, I'm doing this very, very spontaneously because I've been called to do so lately. We're using the Sacred Creators deck. For my pile 1. I'm hearing to take 3, so let's do the good kind, 35. Celebrate your wins. And gratitude, again. Focusing on the again. I feel like some of you have always lived in some sort of either spiritual or gratitude kind of energy where you understand that the things that are meant to happen are going to happen, but sometimes it's hard to live with that, especially if you've been through a lot. So when I'm hearing gratitude again, it's like, go back to the basics. Remember to keep being grateful. Remember to keep your head up high, and remember that the bad times are not going to last forever. With celebrate your wins, I do see you choosing to celebrate more small things, even if it's just like a small ridiculous thing. Like you're choosing joy, you're choosing the energy of celebration, even if it's just a small private celebration. I feel like you're learning that not everything, it's kind of like understanding that life is short, so you have to really savor every moment. Or again, there was this energy of being humbled, so now you're taking every small step you take forward as worthy of being celebrated just because you decided to show up and move forward, you know? I feel like not enough people give you credit for that, especially considering what you've been through. With the good kind, I feel like you're making better choices, is what I'm hearing, whether that's in love, in health, in the decisions you make. It's like you're asking yourself whether something is going to serve you well or not, or whether it's going to progress you forward, because you don't want to make a decision where it's going to keep you stuck or where it's going to complicate your life. There's no room for that anymore. You want to move forward. You have a fighting spirit and you deserve all the most amazing things in the world, pile 1. Then we're going to choose, I'm hearing 2 cards from the Wisdom of Hafiz. Oh, okay, this one popped out. 42, guidance is golden. Some of you are going to get some really good advice soon from a very particular kind of person. I'm seeing this person could be a little bit older than you. It could be like a grandparent, or maybe just like a mentor of some kind, or a professor, something along those lines, where it's going to resonate with you because they're going to say something and you're just going to hear it so clearly, and it's going to hit you in like the heart, in the gut, in the head. Like they're going to say something and it's just really, really going to ground you. You know, when people just say something and you just go quiet and you're like, wow, that I didn't realize that. Just keep your ears open. Someone's going to say something. We also have 2, protect your boundaries. So maybe a lot of you have been dealing with protecting your boundaries, and maybe that could have been part of your particular question or situation. And in particular, I do feel called to say this because I've been seeing deer a lot, and one of my guides is actually a deer-like creature. I want to say it's Deer Woman, who protects, depending on where you see yourself as here. If you're a woman or a child, she protects them from harm, specifically from predatory harm. And if it's a man, she advises them not to be aggressive or violent toward women, essentially. There's something here about being protected by a very divine deer-like figure. This could be one of my guides just coming through to remind you that you are very divinely protected, and people who have done you harm will essentially get their karma. Not that I think you care, but if that makes you feel better, I feel like that's just here. And it also makes me think of, in one of the tarot decks I have, this antlered deer is the King of Pentacles, again, coming through, which, did that not come through in the tarot? Letting me know that you're going to step into some very grounded energy if you're not already there. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 1. I hope this helped answer your question. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose pile 2, then we have your reading here for this mystery reading. I used to do this back when I first started tarot. I would ask my friends to keep their question in their head and in their heart, and I would just start drawing cards for them. And I always loved doing this because, one, it gave them the privacy to keep their situation in their head, but I knew they needed guidance, and it gave me a chance to test out my tarot and cartomancy skills. But with this particular reading, I'm just going to go ahead and draw some oracle cards to get a glimpse into the situation or give you some advice regarding whatever this is. And then we're going to tap into the tarot from what I see there, which may or may not resonate with the oracles. It could be like another aspect of your life that the universe wants you to know about. But let's go ahead and get cards for you. I don't even know how many piles I'm doing or what decks I am using. I'm kind of going as I'm doing this by the seat of my pants. We have Double Mission, Lightworker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. We have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. I love this energy. Some of you are becoming more true to yourselves, and because you're doing this, you're going to open up a whole channel of people wanting to come towards you, or even experiences or opportunities coming toward you because you've chosen to be a lot more true to yourself. Whether that's stepping into your power, whether that's being more realistically you. I feel like there's been some aspect of you that you were attempting to be in the past, but you've let that go, or you've embraced something that you typically like to hide. But regardless, you are being very honest with the kind of person you are, or whatever it is that your heart wants. And because of this, you've essentially opened up a whole door for new things to come through, and you're going to be catching the eye of a lot of people, is what I'm hearing, or even opportunities. It could be either or in career, romance, friendship, whatever the situation is here. I feel like more things are going to come to you as a result of you being very honest with yourself. And with Double Mission, I'm also getting a sense that you might be doing 2 very different things in your life that kind of don't have anything to do with each other, but it's going to be like a symbiotic relationship here is what I'm seeing between these 2 aspects of your life, where they kind of help nurture each other. For example, let's say you have like a very, I'm sorry for the very loud cars in this neighborhood, but let's say you have a very corporate, boring office job, but when you're not doing that, you're working on something super creative, super talented, very, very lively, very outgoing. You're marrying 2 very different aspects of your life together within yourself. And maybe one or the both of those aspects could be something that was more true to how you are, pile 2. We have guide, number 18. We also have warrior. See, this is very interesting. 2 very different energies, but see how they look like like a very similar person. You could even say she is a similar person. But like one is very, look how sunny and bright this is. And then this is all moon, stars, and galaxy. It's almost like night and day. So I really do feel that you're embracing 2 different aspects of yourself that are both true to you. But it's like you can't leave one or the other. To do so, to deny either sides of those things, it would be not being true to yourself. So you're instead allowing these 2 things to come together within yourself. And like I said, you're going to bring in certain people because of this. Maybe people have been looking for the kind of balance that your particular lifestyle or your particular life has. And it's very telling on you that you've decided to be very honest with yourself. Like, people are going to have a hard time denying this, if that makes any sense. Like, and when I say telling on you, I'm not saying that people are going to call you out. It's like people are going to notice that you just move differently, that you act differently because you have some aspect of this particular thing that other people don't. So let's stick with the example of having a corporate job or a boring office job and then having a very creative field outside of that. People are going to notice that you have a little bit more pep in your step, or you just seem to be happier, or you seem to be the most lively person in the office because you have this other side to you. And people are going to wonder what it is you do. And maybe you might get some clients this way, or you might get people who are fans of yours because of this. And maybe somebody may even want to, I'm hearing a sponsor, maybe your own job could sponsor some aspect of what you do. So if you are an artist and you work for, I don't know, some office or business, they may want somebody to paint a mural on their side of their business to let people know about their work. So I feel like you're marrying 2 very different things together here. We also have 16, intuitive knowledge. Lots of purple in this particular spread. And I do get that you're very intuitive, pile 2. I was getting that, but also crescent moons. And that makes me think of either like a new moon or a moon that is waning or waxing, but like at the very either end or beginning stage here. So it's almost like you've already set the precedent. Is that what I was hearing? That you've already set something in motion here. So it's like you were always planning on this being what you wanted to do. Like you never just wanted one source of income or one way of expressing yourself. You wanted 2 particular things because you understood that you had to balance yourself out. Another way to see this, if we're talking about relationships here, it could be that the person you want could be very different from you, not because it's an opposites attract kind of thing, not like that at all. I feel like you just wanted somebody who was very opposite from you so that they could take care of the things that you know you have no interest in. So let's say you're very spiritual, but you wanted somebody who definitely accepts the spiritual stuff, but isn't super spiritual themselves so they can keep you in the real world. That's something that I'm seeing here. And I understand that I used to have that mentality as well. It's shifted a little bit now because I see different things in my life, but I feel like something similar is here for you. Or let's say you don't want children. You never wanted to give birth. You never wanted to be, I don't know. There's something here about you, or maybe some aspect of yourself not wanting kids, but you don't mind taking care of kids. You love kids. Like you really enjoy being a guiding presence within a children's life, but you yourself may not want to give birth, or you can't. But then you end up with somebody who already has like several kids from a previous relationship. This could be the case. That's a very wild example. I know not everyone's going to resonate with that, but that's an example that is being shown here. I didn't even go into guide and warrior. With a guide, I feel like you're definitely being called to be a guide of some sort. This is also, I'm hearing some of you have a spirit guide that you're not really listening to for some reason, or one that is trying to make itself known, and you're just kind of not aware that they are there, because I'm seeing the eyes closed. With warrior, I do feel that some of you are rejecting the warrior spirit that is within you, because I'm getting a very passive and soft energy from this particular pile. You may or may not resonate with that, but that's what is coming through. And there's something here about fighting for what you want in life. Let's get one more card from the cosmos. Oracle, we have the Mystic. Maybe some of you are trying to balance out like a, I hope this doesn't show, like a spiritual life with a not so spiritual life. And that's fair. I used to try and do that. I guess I still am. But there's a feeling here that some of you are really wanting to embrace your intuitive, more spiritual side, but you're feeling that something holds you back, or maybe you have recently come out of the spiritual closet. That's very common. I feel like a lot has happened since, like, especially like right before the pandemic and a little bit after, a lot of people were waking up to this particular aspect of themselves, especially because all that time in solitude that some people were experiencing really brought this out. And you're now either wanting to learn how to marry this aspect of yourself with the rest of your more mundane, I'm hearing muggle for some of you, your more muggle life, but there's a feeling here that either I'm seeing oil and vinegar and how they don't completely blend, because oil doesn't really blend into much. It's kind of like putting them in the same jar or in the same bottle and just watching them like a lava lamp. I feel like this is how it's going on. Like you keep wanting to mesh it together, but you're realizing that you have to keep it separate, but still both intact and both functioning at the same time. And some of you might enjoy this. I feel like some people really enjoy having a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a double life, but definitely like two sides of themselves that don't necessarily always meet, but definitely something where you keep being interested in both aspects of yourself. Especially if you're somebody who needs a lot of mental stimulation, it's giving very strong Gemini energy, because I know they love to balance two very different things. Even if it's just mentally, but in this case, I feel like it applies to the rest of life as well. Numbers coming through, because I haven't really been calling them out. We have 16, 18, 36, and 54. Maybe some of you are dyslexic, because I was reading that backwards, and I don't think I've ever done that. Not to call you out, but we're going to get two more cards from this astrology deck. We have Pisces, Compassion, Spirit. Open the door to your heart. Opening yourself to other people and their feelings can lend you great compassion, but it can also leave you exposed. Ensure you have healthy boundaries, but let kindness imbue your actions with passion and purpose. Compassion makes the world better. So some of you are definitely stepping into this energy of being, I'm hearing open. Not so much compassionate, because I feel like a lot of you have already been very compassionate and nice, but it's like allowing people to see a side of yourself that you're not really used to showing, or allowing people into your more personal space, especially if it's like new friends or like new, just new people. Some of you may have started a new job and you just don't know how to let them in or how to let them get to know you, is what I'm hearing. We also have change, Uranus. Tumbling down a hill, let yourself be carried by forces beyond your control. Experience exciting new ideas and perspectives. Innovate and find your inner rebellion. What unique approach can you offer that no one else could? I'm seeing something. It's like you're getting swept away by something and you're allowing yourself to get swept away. Why am I seeing? I'm seeing like a superhero movie where like by day they're whatever profession they are, and then by night they're a crime fighting vigilante. It's similar to that. And you're having a hard time expressing to people that you do two very different things, because you're kind of afraid of what they will think of you when they find out you do some other thing. And it can be a little nerve-wracking, I guess, but it's almost like you kind of just don't know how to go about it. And worse than that, how will they treat you afterwards? With the Uranus, I feel like it's going to come regardless. It is giving a little bit of a tower moment here, but not too drastically, not so suddenly. It's more like it's going to happen naturally, and it's going to feel, everything just feels like it's moving in divine timing. But I also want to point out that like all the women in these cards have their eyes closed. This lady, these two ladies, this one with great eyeshadow here. There's something about not seeing something or being afraid to see, especially if you are very intuitive. Maybe you're having a hard time looking into the future or tapping into your intuition for how to go about doing things. And I feel like this is one aspect that you are being called to really focus on, especially because we have a lot of purple here. This particular deck has a lot of purple and blue. Something about communicating the things that your third eye sees is very important, even if it's just to yourself. Not necessarily to other people, but if you do communicate these things to other people, I feel like you're being called to do so even more, like more than usual. Like some people really need your guidance and they have a hard time approaching you. And I feel like some of you are going to really take this on and move forward with it. And then in some cases, I feel like you're kind of concerned where if you do, for some reason, help them out with your intuitive gifts, how will they perceive you? Will they will they think you're crazy? Will they do the complete opposite and think you're amazing and then ask you questions for everything? Because I've definitely had both when I started doing my tarot readings. I would have friends that would just ask me random questions and would ask for like a reading. And after a while, it became to the point where like, maybe I should just start charging. I never did, and I still don't actually. But I will eventually, whenever that is. Maybe after I already post this video. If I'm already like selling readings, just ignore that. But regardless, there's a feeling here that you're kind of hesitant about what the future brings if you decide to express this very, very honest version of yourself to everybody. Because I feel like you haven't expressed it to everyone, just a certain few people and the people that you know you can trust. But it'll eventually come to the surface is what I'm hearing. And it's like you're just waiting to see what happens, or you're kind of waiting to see how you should go about it is what I'm seeing. With anger and conflict and softening to love, some of you are definitely coming out of a very angry mode, a very angry mentality. I feel like you've done some grounding work, some root chakra work here, and you're opening up to a more pleasant energy, I'm hearing, or like a more soft, loving energy, where people used to just, make you mad a lot more easily. Now I think they're still trying to make you mad. I think they're still doing things that are going to aggravate you, but you're going to see it through the lens of love, and that's really going to help you in general. That's kind of just like a side note. I don't really think it has to do with anything else, unless that's part of what it is that you do. But regardless, let's move on to the tarot portion, because this particular reading was a little bit all over the place. I feel like some things may or may not go together, but that's okay, because I feel like some of you are thinking of multiple questions, or even questions that you didn't really ask are coming to the surface here. But let's look at the tarot portion. I'm going to do this past, present, future style. This may or may not have anything to do with the question you asked. It could just be another aspect that you need to know and or understand. And if I didn't answer your question in the oracles, I feel like the tarot definitely will. So for past energy, we have the Knight of Wands. Some of you are becoming much more assertive. Oh my God. You see that, right? It doesn't want to stay standing up. Maybe I'm supposed to take it reversed. Okay, let's take it reversed. In which case, some of you have a hard time starting things or being assertive. Middle. We have the 8 of Wands and we have the 4 of Wands. 8 and 4. Multiplying things by 2. And then for the future, we have the Hierophant. So starting with the past energy, I feel like some of you have a hard time getting things started, or it takes you forever to get going on certain things. But because there's been, I'm hearing either lack of communication between your third eye and yourself. I feel like the universe likes to give you a lot of hints, but sometimes you just look at it and you're like, I don't know if I should go for this. I don't know. Is this true? Is this right? What I'm feeling? But once you do get going, you definitely add a lot of fire to it. You're like all or nothing once you finally get started. And whatever this particular situation is, you were holding back so much to be this beautiful, more charismatic and outgoing person. But now that you've unleashed it, it's like you're making things happen quickly. And I'm hearing spontaneously. I feel like there's a little bit of you're a game changer is what I'm hearing. You change the energy in the room. You change people around you, even if it's just through your own vibe. I feel like you don't really have to do much. You step into a room and people understand you mean business, or that whatever you have to say is important to hear, so they give you the space that you need to express yourself. It's very unusual. I feel like some of you aren't used to this particular energy because you've been in the energy of being in the background for so long that once you get used to it, I'm seeing that people are going to see you as very wise. The Hierophant can mean so many things. And in particular, this in this particular reading, in this particular placement, I'm seeing you as being somebody with credibility. Somebody people can go to ask for advice. Somebody people can go to that they know will be honest and will have the answers. It's giving more magician energy here, but in this particular case, because the Hierophant, it's associated with Taurus, and with Taurus, I'm thinking of something that is long-lasting and very rather reliable. I do see that you are going to be somebody that people knows their stuff. It's basically going from this very beginner Knight of Wands energy to this very self-assured and wise Hierophant energy. Could also associate the Hierophant with karmic lessons, but I'm not seeing that. It's more like you've already learned the karmic lessons, so you have the karmic wisdom to show to people or to really just give them advice, especially if you're already very intuitive. I feel like people definitely come to you for this. To clarify the Son of Swords, we have the Queen of Cups. To clarify present energy with 4 and 8 of Wands, we have the 10 of Cups. And to clarify the Hierophant or Hierophant, I don't know why I say Hierophant, by the way. I think because I see the word heir here, like an heir to the throne. And likewise, you could be the heir to some particular thing. Like maybe you're going to inherit a position is what I'm hearing. Not in the family business kind of way, but I feel like people see you as a good candidate for some particular position that somebody else typically holds. Because in the Rider-Waite, there's a throne or some sort of big important chair, and I think it's like a priest or something. I feel like you're going to inherit some particular seat that is very important at a very important table. But let's clarify the Hierophant here. We have the 5 of Swords, win some, lose some. So you win a lot of responsibility, credibility, and maybe even a sort of some sort of money in some cases. But what you lose is, what do you lose? I guess the secrecy of whatever it was that you used to do. Like you lose some privacy. I feel like you're going to be in the public eye. So you're going to lose some sense of freedom, maybe some sense of privacy, or whatever it was that you held on to that you thought kept you safe, but what you win instead is more freedom and a lot more credibility. Also a lot more stability, because as soon as I came to that realization, like it got a little bit somber, but stabilizing, if that makes any sense. Very interesting. But let's start over here with the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Basically, you used to be in your emotions a lot. I feel like yes, you're very nurturing, but it was almost like, you know how a mom coddles its child? That's the energy that I was getting from you in the past, where yes, you were nurturing yourself a lot. You were self-soothing, you were nurturing, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a beautiful thing to have. But you may have been keeping yourself stuck in some aspect by over-mothering yourself, if that makes any sense. Again, kind of like how a mom overprotects their kids when really she should just let it go, let them mess up or let them, fall every once in a while so they can learn. So I see somebody who like has all this passion, but some aspect of yourself, or maybe even from your own parents, maybe you had a parent that was very overprotective, kept you like locked up or kept you safe, overly safe, because they didn't want to see you fail. But the thing is, you needed to learn how to put yourself out there. You needed to learn how to fly. You needed to learn how to fall a few times so that you can get back up again. I mean, it's like you lived in an energy of fear, but that's not what you were meant for. It's like caging up a tiger. They're not meant to be put in cages. They're meant to be in the jungle, living their most wild, crazy tiger lives, or whatever it is that they're meant to do, And now in this energy that we have right now, it's like you're making things happen. You're allowing energy to flow through you. You're allowing happiness to be present with you at all times, even if it's just for like one moment a day. You understand that bringing joy and your own emotional fulfillment to yourself is part of what is really going to drive you forward to whatever it is the next step in your life is. And I feel like a lot of you already know what that is. And it's just like the small things that are going to get you there. But like I said, you're going to step into this energy of being, I just keep hearing credibility. I keep seeing that people understand that you're the real deal, or that you're important, or that you are made for some particular thing here. And you're going to love it. You're going to see it as a win, but you're also going to have to leave some aspect behind, even if it's just this comfort that you really grew into, that you really bonded with, because again, it kept you safe. It kept you feeling, like it kept you nurtured, but we're not supposed to be in this energy forever. We're supposed to get out there and do stuff. And maybe you're still in this energy. If so, that's okay, pile one. I'm not saying that you're never going to feel this way again where you're cozy, safe, and warm, but it's like at some point we have to move on and know that we have to take life by the reins and direct it where it needs to go. But I feel like it's going to feel so much better. It really is. Let me go ahead and clarify these one last time, and then we're going to move on to the advice cards. So clarifying past energy. We have the Star. It's like you've always known you were meant for great things. The Star lets me know that there's always been a hope within you that you would move on to something much more better. Much more better. To something better. But people have always seen that within you too. But it's like, especially if your parents were keeping you from something, or maybe even overprotective friends, it's like they themselves didn't realize that they were kind of in the way of you reaching that potential that you knew was always within you, or that even they themselves always knew was within you, because their own fears were projected onto you. Or maybe you took on the fears that they had as a way of keeping them close to you or keeping them safe somehow. Believe it or not, they were in the way. And I'm not saying that you have to get rid of them or out of your life. It's just like you have to sidestep them and move forward, because you have to thank them for all the love that they give you and all the protection that they want to offer you. But you have to go through with something here. Let's clarify the current energy. We have the Nine of Cups. I really do see you living your best life right now. If not, then very soon, pile two. I feel like you're going to be just pouring into yourself all the love and all the joy that you know is meant for you. You're having a great time right now. Even if you are in like I'm hearing a transition phase. A transition phase can still be fun, you know? Life still goes on. Just because you're working on something doesn't mean you can't enjoy the great things that are happening for you at that moment. And then to clarify the future energy, I do see that you may have I'm hearing a little bit of a power trip, honestly. So I am seeing that you might have to learn how to balance this particular energy going forward, especially because you're going to be given a lot of freedom. I feel like, especially if you're rather young, or if you just currently stepped into the first ages of adulthood, you might have a little bit of too much freedom. I'm seeing somebody who can easily be overwhelmed or be given far too much, because it's like you aimed so high that you somehow overshot it and you got even more than you thought. And this is where you have to really take care of this, because back to the deck energy, you're going to have a lot of options, and you're going to have to really, really listen to your intuition, because some of these options may not be great for you, but you're going to learn to discern here, right? We're going to learn how to choose what is best for us, how to make the wisest decisions with these two particular aspects that are coming through in this particular reading. You're going to learn how to balance things out, because I can see things easily going off balance. But this is where this Queen of Cups person comes in, where like, yes, they overprotected you and now you've overshot it, but you can always go back to them for advice. You can always ask them, where do you go from here? Another way to see the Queen of Cups is your own intuition. If there wasn't somebody here preventing you from moving forward, it could have been your own self-defense mechanisms, you know? And I feel like some of you, when you do mess up, don't blame yourself. When you do mess up, just take it as another karmic lesson. After all, this is what the Hierophant means here. When you mess up, don't be hard on yourself. It's just part of life, you know? We mess up, we learn, and we move forward, and we become better people because of this. But just do know you have a lot of options here. And yeah, Queen of Pentacles, you're going to learn stability. You're going to learn stability for yourself, but the lessons will come through. But I do see you having a great time right now. Just know that at some point you will step into greatness. Just make sure you're careful of what you do with that greatness. I keep hearing Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. But let's move on to some closing advice here, my beautiful pile two. And this is the thing about karmic lessons. We never really stop learning them. Ask anyone. It's how we respond to the karmic lessons that really makes us who we are, right? Okay, so let's clarify the sacred... sorry. I don't know what we're clarifying. Let's go ahead and give you some advice. But maybe it will help clarify some of the things that have been said in the past two sections. We have limitations inspire innovations. I feel like you have a very I'm hearing a genius kind of mind where you can come up with things that a lot of people have never really thought of. You have a very intelligent aura about you. Light in the unexpected. And soul on fire. I'm not surprised because I was like, when I saw light in the unexpected, I was like, they're going to bring light into the world. And then I saw soul on fire. You're going to bring some sort of inspiration or light or hope or something new and innovative within a particular field or a particular community. You're going to bring something to people that they really, really needed. And people are going to be very grateful for you. I really do see you as being an inspiration to people. Also, the number 16 came through. I want to say that also was in the oracles. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But we have the numbers 52, 16, and 38, just in case those mean anything to you. But you're going to come up with some particular, either like a rule or maybe an invention of some sort that could bring, it could either bring you a lot of money, a lot of credibility, a lot of influence over people and over companies, especially if you're really good at coming up with certain ideas or even certain services. I'm hearing. All right, this card jumped. We have 22, befriend pleasure. Some of you are going to be having a great time, not going to lie. And I feel like that itself could be a distraction. And then we have unleash your passion, 37. There's something here about being surrounded by like-minded people and finding your group of friends that think just like you, but also balance you out. Like you have a same mentality here, but you also know, like for example, if they know you work really hard, they're like, hey, let's go out this weekend and do this, or vice versa, depending on where you see yourself within this friend group. I feel like this friend group is really going to help you grow, and they're going to give you a lot of opportunities here. And they're going to keep you in check is what I'm hearing. Back of the deck, we have 18 play. And that is a number that came through earlier in the, I want to say it was that other card, guide, 18 play. This could be your spirit guide coming through, letting you know to have more fun. I know my spirit guides like to do it a lot. They're always telling me to laugh more, to have more fun, because I tend to be very serious. And likewise, pile 2, I feel like you're the same when it comes to seriousness, when it comes to taking yourself and your work seriously. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. We're going to do our mystery readings, so I ask you to keep your question in mind. This is how I used to do my readings back when I first started. I would ask my friends to keep their question in their mind, in their heart, and ask for advice to come through. And we're going to go ahead and get the oracles. Everything is being live shuffled today. I started shuffling the tarot right away. But let's go ahead and get the oracles to get a glimpse into what your situation is or what advice needs to come through. And then the tarot will give us a little bit more of the story that is being played out here. Something about you getting ahead of yourself is coming through. We have the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Some of you were being really pushed into something a little bit sooner than you were ready for, or then, I don't know, I feel like something came a little too soon and you weren't ready for it. So it may have caused some fear in you or like a little hesitancy, but this is something you were meant to do, but you were started too soon is what I'm hearing. Next card we have is wait, it's not yet time. Things are being woven. Yeah, I feel like this is just confirming that. Let's get another one, because these cards, this particular deck is resonating with you today. This is the Starseed Oracle. We have surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. So while you're waiting for this moment to arrive, whatever this particular thing is, I feel like you have to truly enjoy the time you have. By the way, pile 3, I've had this deck for years. I don't think I've ever seen any of these cards come up in my readings. Typically any other cards come up, but the fact that we have a blue flame that's been ignited, we have a wait, and then we have surrendering to the sweetness. Things will progress forward when you embrace life and when you choose joy, when you choose softness, when you choose pleasure. I feel like you have to really step into your Venusian energy. In astrology, look at your Venus sign. Whatever sign that is, nurture that. And that's how you express your love. That's how you express your beauty. That heart-centered energy that is within you. That's how you express it. For example, mine's in Aries, which is a very weird placement for Venus because Aries is a very aggressive male type of sign. Like it's very man. Ask any Aries woman, doesn't matter how girly she is, deep down inside of her, she's like the most strong, dominating man ever. It doesn't matter who this person is. And that's how I express my love, is in a very, very blunt, very honest, very aggressive way. It's very interesting. But regardless, let's move on to the rest of your cards. And I feel like that makes sense because Aries energy does like to move forward even before they're ready. Like they don't think it through, they just do. And I'm saying that with all the love. I love my Aries people. We have Solitary, 39. We also have Independent. So you really love your independence, pile 3. I can tell. You love being alone. You don't think it's lonely. You love being in solitude. It's not hermit energy. This is just how you choose to be. You love this independent streak and you love having to be like everything onto yourself. Some people may see it as hyper independence, but I'm not seeing that at all. I'm seeing empowerment, especially if you come from like a background where you were used to being codependent on somebody or somebody being codependent on you. I feel like the freedom that you have is everything that you cherish and you wouldn't trade it for anything here. I'm also being called to the numbers, interestingly, because we have 39 and 1, and if you add them together, they create 40. So the number 40 could be of importance here, whether you are turning 40 or 40 could be like a very particular number for you. There's a sense here that you just really, really value everything that you are, even if it's just your individuality. And if you're already in a connection or if you have a partner or if you don't mind dating, I don't think the case is here that you want to be alone. I just feel like even in relationships, if somebody doesn't give you independence or your moments of solitude, you will go crazy. You could love somebody with all your heart, but if they don't give you independence, you don't want it because you need that time away from everybody to recharge, to re-energize, or to just do you. You would be somebody who travels the world alone. I could see that. But I also see somebody who just, like I said, you are everything onto yourself. You don't really need anybody. So everybody that comes into your life, you just really want them there because you truly value them. And I feel like people really appreciate this about you because I don't feel that you are actually lonely. I'm seeing and feeling that you have a lot of people who love you around you, like friends, family, even your children. But I think, and partners as well for some of you, but I feel like, again, you just enjoy being alone. You enjoy doing your own thing, and people who truly love you give you this space. We're going to get a card from the What's in Your Stars deck. We have Self-Confident Sun, a figure on a golden throne. It's time to allow your full self to shine. No holding back. Melt away insecurity with the heat of your inner fire. I almost said inner freedom. Connect with the part of you that is comfortable taking up space and let yourself radiate confidence. I was getting that very strongly, very strong. It's fire dominant. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I feel like if you have any placement in those particular signs, this is resonating with you. And you're being called to really work on that, especially to express this Venusian energy. So you could have Venus in a fire sign as well. You don't have to, but is it just confirmation if you do? But like I said, you're in a moment of waiting for something to happen. And you have to focus on you. You have to focus on your love and the brightness that you bring to the world. Really, I feel like some of you bring a lot of love into the world and you're not even aware of it. Even just with the sheer confidence that you ignite and inspire within people. We have Protection, 34, boundaries, shielding, and conservation. So some of this need to be alone or in solitude could be due to the fact that you protect your own energy from other energies. Like I feel like especially in the past, if you've had some sort of either relationship or situation where people took advantage of you or mistreated you, you know that it's important for you to be by yourself because that's how you heal. That's how you understand what is actually your problem and what is everybody else's problem. Because you'll take ownership of things that are wrong with you. But if somebody tries to somehow project onto you that whatever is actually their problem, you're not going to take that. And I feel like this is a very self-aware energy and I'm truly loving it. Like I was feeling sluggish before I came to this particular pile, but now that I'm reading it, I'm just like, wow, this burst of energy. You know exactly what you're made of and you bring a lot of fire into any situation, into any group of friends and any relationship for sure. Or at the very least, your love does, because your love is also the love you give yourself. Because you hold yourself to such high standards and to such high an elevated version of love, I feel like you inspire people to do the same. And you yourself may also uplift people even just by being you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to say anything. Just you being yourself really inspires people to empower themselves. we have 40 awareness. What did I say? 40. Maybe somebody here is turning 40 and this is just some kind of confirmation of you becoming that age. We have awareness, contemplation, non-action, and truth. Like I said, you're a very self-aware person, and this is just confirming this. Also very psychic. Whenever I get readings where like the intuition is coming strongly, this is just confirmation from the universe that you yourself are very connected to your higher self, to your higher beings, to your whatever it is that you believe in. Of course, some people it's the universe, for some people it's light, for some people it's God, your gods and goddesses, whatever it is here, you're very divinely guided. And we have 2 more cards. We have intuitive knowledge, again, confirming this. You're very intuitive, whether you recognize this or not, whether you are aware or not. Should you ever want to do anything like what I do here with tarot, you do very well, pile 3. Just confirmation. And we also have the channeler. The channeler. And this is essentially what I do. This is what tarot, well, not all tarot readers, but what a lot of them do. We hear messages from the universe, from God, from our higher guidance, essentially. I've been calling it higher spirits and higher guidance more and more. And we channel words, we channel energy, we channel messages as well. I feel like you usually do this with some aspect of your life that you're not aware. It could be when you're giving advice to friends. That's when I see it the most from people who don't actively do this every day. I also see it when people are trying to parent or when they're trying to be very gentle with somebody. Doctors and nurses do this a lot, especially when it's something that is meant for them. When they heal people, they just intuitively know where to look sometimes. I mean, yes, the knowledge comes through, but when they're dealing with something tricky or something that they haven't thought of, they'll just get a hint that they might have to look here and there. And that's how you know that's your intuition coming through. You channel a lot. And if it's not through words, it could just be in the way you move and in the way you do things. Some people do this when they clean. I see this the most when people clean. And it's usually because they're in a, well, maybe not everybody. If you clean with music or with some really happy stuff in the background, then you're channeling. And I know in my culture we do this anyway. We just turn up like the really good party music and we clean, because I'm Latina. Whenever you do this, you're channeling how to get rid of bad energy within a household. And I've always noticed this because certain households that play music while they clean, they feel different when you walk in. They feel very different, at least for me, as somebody who reads energy. That's how it is. And I feel like you do this. It could also be within the workspace. It could also be just wherever it is that you do. You channel whether you are aware of it or not. And if you are aware that you channel, I feel like this is just confirmation of all the amazing things that you do. And this would make sense because a lot of intuitive people, they need that alone time to recharge, to separate other people's energies from their own energy, to know what is them and to know what is everybody else's. So whatever is going on here, pile 3, I'm not sure if I'm answering anything, but I definitely feel that spirit is coming through to confirm that you are very intuitively and divinely guided. Everything is going just as it should, even if it doesn't feel that way. If it feels like something is slowing down, it's because you will have to look at something or you have to work on something within yourself, within your heart, within your mind, within the subconscious of some past aspect of yourself that you still haven't come to terms with, or that you haven't fully healed, or maybe you're just not even expressing it enough. I feel like for some of you, you've tried to suppress something so much and you haven't truly been honest about either how much it hurt you or how much you may even miss something. Even if you know something wasn't meant for you, you can still miss it. Like, for example, let's say you were with a partner and the relationship was not great, but you still miss certain aspects of it. It's okay to miss that. That doesn't mean you want your partner back, but it definitely means that you would like to have that with somebody who is better for you, or within a situation that is healthier for you, of course. And it's okay to feel these feelings. If you ever just feel the need to take an evening off or a moment off to mourn some past aspect of yourself and heal that, by all means do it. I feel like some of you, because you're so independent, because you're so solitary, you feel that you have to be strong all the time. But when it's just you, because we know you have these moments alone, it's okay to be vulnerable with yourself. You allow people to be vulnerable with you. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself as well. And I feel like you have to give this love. I feel like you do give it to yourself, but it's like you're giving it to yourself, but you yourself are not receiving it from yourself. If that makes sense. It's kind of weird. You could have an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy, like the yin and yang, the giving and the receptive energy, however you want to see it. So there is some aspect here that allows you that is calling you to allow yourself to heal this, to balance yourself out, even if it's just for a moment to see where you are. Because I feel like some of you, you've got this. Whatever it is that you're working towards, it's coming for you. It's coming to you. Things are happening. But if there's been a standstill lately, it's because the universe wants you to see something about yourself or about your situation, or to just fully heal. It's kind of like when you're on leave from work because you've hurt something. Like the doctor may give you, I don't know, a few weeks and then you can go back to work. But if you're not ready to go back and you're still hurting, ask the doctor for more time. This is an example. I'm not saying this is what is happening, but if you need to give yourself time, give yourself time. You know, anything meant for you will not pass you up. But I'm truly loving this. Also, there are new sides of you that are coming through. And some that you may not have seen yet, but other people are seeing them within you and they truly love this energy. But let's move on to the tarot portion of this reading. The tarot portion may or may not have anything to do with your question in mind, because I feel like this first oracle portion didn't really answer much. I feel like it mostly just gave you an overview of who you are. I get that particular message a lot in readings sometimes. It's just remember who you are, because you are much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Are you even aware of how powerful you are? Look at where you've been and look at where you have been and what you've become. Some of you are not looking at what you've become now. It's like maybe it would do you some good to compare yourself to even a few years ago and how much you've grown since then. So we're going to do this past, present, future style to see what is going on here and to help you answer your question. We have the King of Wands in the past energy. Present energy, we have the Hangman. You're changing your mind about something. And future, we have Nine of Coins. There is money and abundance in the future for you, pile 3. I promise you that. I'm going to go ahead and push them all out. I'm going to get the clarifiers as well. To clarify the King of Wands, we have the Nine of Swords. That's what I thought. And then to clarify the current energy of the Hangman, we have the Nine of Wands. Something from your past is haunting you. And you're letting it get the best of you, but you're overcoming it. And then future energy, the Hierophant. Which is funny because another pile, I think it was pile 2, had the Hierophant in the future as well, letting me know that you are fully becoming somebody with credibility, but also somebody who has learned their lesson and can now be the teacher. You're no longer the student, you are becoming the teacher, pile 3. Let's get the last clarifier, because for you I have to look at everything. There's a story here, 10 of Wands. To clarify present energy, we have the 5 of Wands. You're really learning to love the hustle is what I'm hearing. And then for future energy, we have, oh, this is beautiful. The 10 of Cups is a card you want in your future energy because it is the happily ever after. Back of the deck energy is the Emperor, which is definitely what you are in, pile 3. I hope I'm not talking too fast, by the way, but because your energy is so strong with spirit, like what I'm channeling is very quick and very fast because that's how intuition is for those of you who are already very connected. But with the past energy, I can tell that there's been somebody rather charismatic in your past that has given you either anxiety or has, like, with Nine of Swords, it's usually seen as anxiety, but it can also mean somebody who didn't really let you rest or didn't give you, like, they could have shaken your self-esteem, or maybe they just took up a lot of your energy. This is an energy vampire for some of you. Whoever this person was, they just overburdened you with some aspect of themselves, of their situation. I feel like this person, they may have treated you right. And for some of you, they definitely didn't treat you right. But regardless, this person, their energy was heavy. It's like they expected you to do everything and you just were supposed to take it all on somehow, which doesn't really seem fair. It definitely wasn't fair. But I feel like you may still think of this person from time to time, and that's a cue for you to know that you still have wounds to heal from that particular era of your life. It could be that this person has recently popped back up, like maybe they're talking to you again, or you've heard about them, especially if you have like family or friends in common, like maybe you share children. If so, I feel like this person was from a very long time ago. It could have been like like a baby mama, baby daddy situation, but even though you just don't talk to them. But I feel like something from that particular time of your life, or even something this person did, is currently haunting you right now. Or if it's not, it could be like in the very, very deepest, darkest part of your subconscious or heart. And it could have been calling to you and you just don't want to look at it. And I don't blame you. It's hard to look back at things that don't make us feel great. But there's something about this that you have to really look at, because right now it seems that you're okay taking on a lot more work, but only if it's for yourself. It's like you would rather struggle for yourself than you would struggle for somebody else's BS, you know? Like you're willing to put in the hard work for the things that you know are going to give you some sort of reciprocity, but you're not going to do it for the people that you know are not ever going to give you anything back. So you're in an energy where yes, you're hustling, yes, you're working hard, but you're not tired because you're focusing on yourself. And the Hangman here is letting me know that you're now seeing, it's like you're almost grateful for whatever this person put you through because it's made you stronger. Yeah, I'm hearing that song, what doesn't, or that saying, I guess, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this person really tried to tear you down, or maybe that situation, those people, whatever the situation was, it was very, it made you feel very go, go, go. Like it was like there was always a fire, like a fire lit under your ass is what I'm hearing. But not in a good way. But now that you know how to deal with that energy, it just makes life easier for you, because it's like, I've already been put through all of that, how like life could never get as bad as what that was. And you're right, pile 3. This is part of what has made you stronger. 5 of Wands, I mean, it's funny because a lot of people see it as like conflict, they see it as fighting, but it could also be fun to fight, because I think of people who enjoy fighting for fun. People sometimes wrestle for fun, which I always thought was weird, because I know couples who wrestle for fun as part of like what they do. Like some couples cuddle and then some couples wrestle. And they each see it as the same thing, you know? I feel like you would be that kind of person where you've learned to see the struggle as fun. You've learned to see competition as something to drive you forward. Whereas in the past, you used to see it as something that kept you down. And I really love this shift in perspective for you, pile 3. This is taking something that used to bring you down and making it something that empowers you now. With the future energy, and it's all very beautiful. It's all very beautiful because we have abundance here with the 9 of Coins. We have an emotionally fulfilling life here with the 10 of Cups and the Hierophant. And I love her in this particular deck because this is Buffalo Woman. She is the one who teaches you how to do everything. She teaches you how to provide for yourself. She taught her people how to use the buffalo for every aspect, like how to consume it, how to just how to consume it, how to use the hide for clothing, how to use the horns for tools. It's very beautiful energy. And here you're learning how to work with everything that you have. And this is part of your abundance. I feel like it both makes you happy that you know how to be very self-sufficient, but it also allows you to know how to make do with what you have. It's making lemons out of lemonade, or sorry, lemonade out of lemons, you know? You know how to make lemonade. Or in this case, I guess, watermelonade, because this guy's got a little watermelon or a melon. But I really do love this energy where you're moving into beautiful happily ever after energy, and it all comes down to the fact that you learned how to take control of your life with this Emperor energy. Ace of Cups, you're going to begin beautiful new friendships, or in some cases even relationships. I feel like anyone who comes into your life, you're going to be embracing them with love, and if they can't give you the love back, that's okay. You just send them back to where they came from. Beautiful energy, very beautiful. So if you had any question or anything in mind, I promise you, you're going to grow so much from this. You're going to inspire people with your story, should you share your story with anybody. And yeah, you have everything within you. You're just learning how to enjoy the hustle, I'm hearing. Some of you might see it as a struggle. You could enjoy the struggle as well, but if you reframe it as a hustle, I feel like things will go a lot more smoothly for you. But let's move on to the advice portion of this reading. I really do love this energy, pile 3. You seem like a very amazing person to hang out with. And likewise, I feel like you're calling in some new people into your life who kind of match this energy. From the Sacred Creators Oracle, we're going to get, I'm hearing 4 cards for you. Okay. We have Rise. Yep, you're rising up to the occasion. You're elevating. We have magic happens when you most expect it. Some of you are definitely very magical. It's the, what is it called? The law of assumption. When you assume something great is going to happen to you, it will happen. Or when you assume something is going to come towards you, it will. You're calling people to you. So even though right now it really feels like you're in very strong masculine energy, you're going to step into a much more soft Empress energy. You're just having to wait. Like I said, tap into that Venusian energy of yours. Be more in your feminine energy. Allow things to come to you. We have bravely market your magic. For those of you, oh, the number 39 is coming through again. I feel like some of you are actually 39 and you're worrying about turning 40 or any decade. I feel like, and anytime you're like 29, 39, 49, when you're at that 9, you're always there's a little hesitancy about turning that next decade, you know. But personally, somebody being already in their 30s, your 30s are going to be the most fun age if you're there. And if you're about to leave your 30s, I feel like, I don't know, you're going to redefine what 40 means. My generation is going to do that. We're living longer and we're looking better as we age. We also have in balance. You're learning to balance out certain aspects of yourself, which is very beautiful. Like I said, you're in masculine energy right now, regardless of what you identify as here. If you're a woman, you're still in masculine energy. And if you're a man, I feel like you're naturally in masculine energy. So we're going to learn how to take it a little bit back and allow the feminine energy to come through. I keep being shown this particular example, like it came up 3 times within the past week, where a flower doesn't go seeking the bumblebee. The bumblebee comes to the flower for the pollen because the flower knows it's beautiful. And all it does is sit there and grow. You have to be like that flower and allow things to come to you. And oh, I saw the back of the deck energy. You, the muse. You are, and this is the Empress card in this particular deck. It's not necessarily a tarot deck, but it's meant to coincide with some tarot cards. And the fact that the Empress number 3, the muse card, came through lets me know you are stepping very beautifully into Empress energy. Very beautifully. Like it's going to come natural. You're not going to have to force it. Let's get 2 cards from the Wisdom of Hafez deck. There is something here about a hesitancy about something. So this is what these cards are going to answer. If you're hesitant about something, we have Kindle Love 8. You are going to be finding, if you're already in a connection, I feel like the love is just going to grow and you're going to keep getting confirmation of how right this is. And if you're not in a connection right now, but you want one, I feel like somebody will come through and show you a lot of love. And if you don't care for romantics right now, you may be shown a lot of love from people who adore you, whether this is friends or family. And in some cases, all of the above. And we have 28, hold the connection. This is just reminding you that when you connect to source, when you connect to your spirit, holding that connection is only going to bring more and more beautiful things. It's also going to naturally shape you into this receptive energy that you want to step into. But this is where I leave you my beautiful pile 3. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sending you so much love and so much luck and joy on your progress here. See you next time. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your mystery reading. We're going to look at the oracles to see what is going on with you and how we can answer this particular question or situation you may have on your mind. We're going to start with the oracles, and I'm live shuffling everything today, so it may take a moment. But this is how I used to do readings back in the day when I started. I just let people keep their question or their concern in their mind and their heart because I like to give them the privacy that they needed. Because when you keep the question secret, you allow the advice to come through more freely, knowing that nobody will judge you for the question you have to ask. I hope I say that in the intro. I have not filmed the intro yet because I don't even know how many piles I'm going to have in this reading. But let's go ahead and get your cards. We have Starbathing, Light Body, Crystal Grid, Transmission, and Activation. We have Star Family, lots of stars here. You're part of a team of souls, call in support. You're building a team of something is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, this is very specific and it may not even resonate with you, but I'm seeing like, you know how some YouTube channels have like a group of people that work on something to create videos? It's something similar to that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube. It could also be any other social media platform where you're creating a group of people to come forth and do something very specific. We also have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. You may be cutting some people out. I feel like you're being very discerning about who you bring along on this journey because it's going to be important. And double mission. Both of these cards came up, I want to say, in pile 2. So if you were drawn to that, I would go back to that, but only if you were already drawn to it. But we have Lightworker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. You have to allow the people, so the people that you choose, make sure they are being their most honest selves. I think like some people want to put on a persona whenever they know they're going to be part of a project, like they take on a particular role. Make sure that the roles you give them or the roles that you want them to play are something they already do very naturally. Don't try to force somebody into a very specific type of role when you know they're not going to be good at it. Like let's say you want your friend or maybe like I don't know, a cousin, a sibling, something to do something particular in this situation. If you know they don't like that, or if you know that they don't know whatever that role calls for, don't put them there. They're going to disappoint you, unfortunately. Because with conflict here and anger, I can see that you might have to part ways with certain people who do not meet the standards of whatever this calls for. And it's nothing personal. You just need to find the right people here. We also have... we have freedom. I need to censor this. There's a lot of nudity in this deck, but it's a beautiful deck. We have freedom, revolution, renewal, independence. Whoever this person is, they may act out of line. There's somebody here that wants their independence. Or it could be you having to give up some sort of freedom in order to see this project through. We also have inner child, innocence, play, and reparenting. There is something very fun about this particular situation, though. I won't lie. There's something very exciting about it. And I feel like this is why you really have to be discerning about who you let through. Because some people are just going to want to party all the time. They're going to want to have fun. They're not going to take it seriously. They're going to let it go to their head, essentially. But you need people who can be serious, who are very much self-starters, and who can... who have that self-discipline in order to move forward. Like, they know when to have fun, and they know when to let loose, but they also know when to take it seriously. Another way of seeing this is like, if you have people who have a lot of fun, you need to keep people around who also know how to be very serious. Like, you need, whatever's going on here, something needs to be balanced. I do see a group of people, though. Like, whatever you're asking about or whatever you have in your mind, it's a group of people. It's not a solo journey thing. Because I keep trying to tap into your own energy pile for... I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a group of people, and I'm seeing you at the center of it. You might be the one having to deal with this as well. We have creative 30. Yeah, this is a very creative project. So, and I don't like this stereotype because I know it's not everybody, but some creative people, some of the most creative people I know are also some of the messiest, some of the most, some of the least organized when it comes to like either their timing or finances. When it comes to like serious things, they're some of the least organized. Very organized when it comes to the artwork or creative endeavor itself, but in everything else, it's like they lose track of time, or they may just not know where they put things. So something about this creative endeavor, because I do feel for the majority of you, it's going to be creative and expressive. Yeah, you have something to show to the world is what I'm hearing. Also, these numbers are very close together: 19, 21, 29, 30. There could be people around these ages as well. Let's get one more card from this deck. Neglected, 38. Somebody's going to feel left out. You're going to have to be okay with that. Like I said, there are no hard feelings here. No hard feelings, because I'm being told to show back of the deck energy aligned. You have to make sure everything is in alignment here. Like I said, some people are going to feel left out, and I just hope that they have the maturity or the understanding to know that certain situations call for certain kinds of people. 38, 42. All right, and we're gonna get, I'm hearing one card from the What's in Your Stars. Okay, I guess two from the What's in Your Stars Oracle. We have Mars, again with the Martian energy. There might be more men on this team, or if not men, then that male dominated energy. Make sure there's a balance of like of masculine and feminine energy. I almost said male and females, but I don't think that's going to be the case for some of you. There's got to be a little bit more feminine energy here, because I feel like there's a lot of egos at play. Let me read from this card. Assertiveness. Runners race across the field. Make the earth shake under your feet as you run for your goals. Move forward with power and energy. Get fired up, find your motivation, and make progress assertively. It's time to take action. You're trying to start something here. And I can tell that there's been a lot of thought put into this because this is the pile with the most cards, letting me know that one, there's a lot of energies at play. Two, there's been a lot of thought put into this. There's a lot of energy in this. Next card, Aries, another Mars dominant card. Immediacy, fireworks burn bright and fade away. The present is all you have, so live in it. By focusing on the past or the future, you may be missing the point. Staying present can dissolve fear and worry. Try to do one small thing to center yourself each day. What I'm hearing is that if you don't watch out, oh, and actually, these look like fireworks as well. I mean, I know a lot of this is stars and stars look like that, but there's something here about burning too brightly and having it go just as fast. I feel like you want something more long lasting, because whatever this is, I'm seeing dynamite. Like I'm seeing like something that could go off and blow up. So really, again, keep balance of the kind of people that you bring into this particular situation or project or whatever this particular thing is. Be careful of the people you bring in. You have to have a balance of the kinds of people you want. You want some really chill people, but you also want some people who can get riled up very quickly, or I guess not riled up, hyped up, I guess. You want balance here, and I know that's hard. And I can tell that you've been wanting to have an easier time of this, because I can tell that some of this energy is draining you, pile 4. I'm not gonna lie, because even just tapping into this, it's like having to deal with, maybe some of you are teachers and you're dealing with like a classroom or something, because this is how I'm seeing it. Or maybe you are trying to gather a team. I just see a lot of people. Whatever this is, it's a lot of people, and you want balance here. Don't put two people together that you know are not going to work well together. Keep them on opposite sides. And you will know who they are. They're going to show themselves very, very aggressively, very bluntly with all this Mars energy. Keep them away. If you're dealing with animals, don't bring two men together. It's just biology. Like, don't bring two male animals together. It's biology. I feel like it's very, yeah, if you want a dog, make sure it's not the same gender, especially if it's a male dog. Don't get two male dogs together. They will not have a great time of it. Make sure that it's opposite genders. So, what else are we getting from here? Mostly pile 4, make sure you're centering yourself. Make sure you take time for yourself away from this, because I can tell that the decisions you've been trying to make and all the choices and the movements that you're making can be draining. And if you don't watch yourself, you could burn out very quickly. That's another thing I'm getting from this immediacy firework energy here. You yourself could be an Aries, but the fact that there's Mars here, I'm wondering if this has something to do with a sport. Because anytime I think of Mars, it's like assembling a team. And maybe you're trying to make a really good team for some sort of sport or something along those lines. Or maybe you're having to make decisions about who gets to work with you, more than likely. Because Mars is how people move and how they go about doing what they do. If you do know astrology, look into the Mars sign. This is how people express themselves physically. And it shows itself a lot within the workspace. But let's go ahead and go into your tarot, which may or may not have anything to do with the actual oracles that I saw, or your question or the situation you have on your mind. But we're going to do this past, present, and future style. And yeah, let's look at this story here. We have judgment. Yep, we're using a lot of judgment here. We're making decisions that are going to change people's lives. Current energy, 9 of Swords. I'm not surprised. You got a little bit of anxiety. You got a little bit, you have mental overload is what I'm hearing. So it's not anxiety, it's mental overload. But it can express itself with the symptoms of anxiety, like lack of sleep or not being able to settle down. For some of you, it could just bring you into small bouts of depression. Future energy, 5 of Swords. Not everyone is going to be happy. You're going to have to be okay with that. The 5 of Swords has been showing up a lot in these readings today. Win some, lose some. Like, yes, you win a great team, and what you lose might be some friends or some people who have hurt feelings, some people that are butthurt. Interestingly, Eris is the goddess who showed the golden apple in Greek mythology, and I feel like this makes sense for what I was seeing in the oracles. She gave the apple to Paris, who had to choose between the 3 goddesses, Athena, Aphrodite, or Hera, to see which one was the fairest of them all, I guess, or something along those lines. Whoever was the best goddess. And they each like promised him something. Athena would be victory in war. Hera was like a really great marriage, and Aphrodite, I think, was love or the beautiful woman. I don't know. I don't remember. But having to choose between a lot of really great candidates it's going to start a war, essentially. People are going to be mad. You're going to have to be okay with this, because at the end, do you want to succeed, or do you want to put people in places that you know they don't belong? All right, so let's clarify the past energy. In some cases, you may have already made this decision, and if so, we're going to get clarity into that as well. So past energy, we have Ten of Swords. Yeah, whatever this was, there was a big dispute. It left you very... Notice that the swords are in her back. Somebody felt backstabbed. This could have been you. This could have been them. Lots of swords, lots of talking. Current energy, we have Queen of Pentacles. You stand by your decision. You know that you made right decisions, and that you know those decisions are going to bring the results that you want. The Queen of Swords... Sorry, did I say swords? This is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles does not waver in her decision. She knows that she chooses right, and she sticks by them. Even when she chooses wrong, she's like, I still know I made a great decision here. She can be a bit stubborn. Okay, future energy. We have Ace of Wands. There's going to be another opportunity for something similar, and you might be bringing certain people that you didn't choose back into this. I'm not saying there's any regrets, but I'm feeling like you're just going to make it up to somebody here, because the Ace of Wands is a creative thinking. Past energy. Somebody feels lied to. Somebody feels led on. It's basically resentment, the way I'm taking Seven of Swords here. It usually means deception or secrets, but here I'm seeing resentment. Current energy. Clarify that again. We have the Hermit. You're going to have to take some time away from people. I feel like if you're not already taking time away from all of these people or everybody else, do it now. Pile 4. You need time away from people. You need to center yourself. Remind yourself who you are. I said remember yourself. Yeah, remember some aspect of yourself before all this began, because you might lose track of what this was meant to be. Future energy. Temperance. You're going to learn how to balance things out better in the future. I see you just learning and doing better. It's very straightforward. I hope this is making sense to you. Back of the deck, Knight of Wands. But I feel that you're very... much more self-aware now. I'm getting so much fire energy. I really wonder what this is. Like what it is that you're doing. If you feel like sharing pile 4, by all means do so in the comments below. But you don't have to, because I can tell that some of you might have a rather public persona or a public platform I'm hearing. So for you to share this would probably be like, it would cause more drama than it already has. But in the past, you've made decisions and people were hurt. People felt betrayed. I feel like people were not happy with the decisions you made. They may disagree, but I really feel that current energy, you are fine with the decisions you made. You just don't like what happened as a result of them. And because of that, there is some guilt here that you have to work through. And this is why you need time alone or time away from everything to really look within yourself and tell yourself that, one, there are no hard feelings here. Because there's no cups here, you didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, and your feelings were not brought into question when this decision was made. But I can tell somebody else felt betrayed or butthurt here. And it's not even like, it's not your fault. You don't hate the people you didn't choose. It's just like you knew they were not the right people for that particular endeavor. And whatever that was, I'm not sure. I can tell that it was something big and something important and something where you had to look good or where you had to make a great impression so that you could move forward. You could have been looking for like the right kind of audience here, or you could have been trying to impress a particular person or a particular company. Whatever this is, I feel like you're learning to choose better and learning to not put your feelings into it, because it's not about feelings, it's about business. With the future energy though, I do see you being a lot more discerning, but I'm also seeing you not being afraid to be true to yourself. The Five of Swords, win some, lose some. You may lose some friends, but you're going to win in your career. You're also going to feel better about the choices you made, even if other people are not happy with it. Like, I'm hearing that's their problem, not mine. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible here. I still feel that you will give them chances, or you will still help them up if they need it with Temperance here, because Temperance is giving attention to where you need to give attention to. So just because you didn't give them this doesn't mean you won't help them in some other aspect of their life. Like, let's say you didn't hire somebody for your company, but you still like that person and you know that they are a good candidate, they just weren't the right match for the company. You're still going to give them that letter of recommendation, and you're still going to guide them to where they need to go. You just knew that it wasn't that particular thing. A lot of professional stuff coming in here. Like, I feel like this is mostly either a work situation or something where you had to look good. But Knight of Wands here, I can tell that you keep rolling with the punches. You move on to the next thing. Whatever this was, it was a one-time thing, or you know it's going to, you're going to have another opportunity for this kind of thing. So you will bring that up next time. I feel like you have these kinds of projects a lot, pile 4. So you could be like a hiring manager, a hiring director, something along those lines. But yeah, very interesting. What's underneath this? We have the devil. Ooh, watch out for people with bad habits. They might be fun, but you don't want people with bad habits here. Especially if you've heard shady stuff about them. Don't even. And underneath that, the lovers. Also, don't hire people that you are in relationships with. Don't hire people that are in relationships with each other. They're going to bring their drama to this workplace. You don't want to see that. I know it hurts and I know it sucks sometimes because you kind of want to see happy people in love work together. But in this case, I'm hearing, you know what? Who is this? Aphrodite. Who are we missing? Hera? Athena? Aphrodite? Yeah. Don't hire people who are in relationships with each other already. If they happen to meet at work and they get together, that's one thing. But if they're already married to somebody in this particular project, don't do it. It's gonna ruin the dynamic. But also, if you know they have bad habits, or you know that they have things that they refuse to let go of when it comes to their bad habits, don't invite them. Don't invite the party people. I know they're fun, but if you know they like to, if you know they're gonna bring that fun into the workplace, just don't. Like, you already saw it, you knew it. Why would you bring them into this, you know? Okay, so we're gonna get some advice now from the Sacred Creators Oracle. I'm hearing 3 for this particular pile. We have the Sacred Flow of Yes. I'm hearing you're following the yes. So if you want to tap into your intuition, whenever you're talking to somebody to see if they're going to be the right match for this thing, ask yourself internally as you are having a conversation with them, whether they give you a yes or no. Like, do you feel the energy of yes whenever you talk to them and including them in this thing you're doing? And then these 2 cards, collaboration of souls. So some of the people that you're collaborating with, you were meant to collaborate with. I feel like you have like soulmates when it comes to like either business partners or friendships here. Whatever the situation is, there's going to be people you really vibe well with, and I feel like you're going to go a long way with them. And then we have overrate your intuition. Yeah, like I said, trust your intuition. Listen to that flow of yes. If somebody feels like a yes energetically, they vibe a yes, it's a yes. But if something gives you a weird gut feeling, if they give you the ick, whatever, it's a no. It's that simple. Some of you might be learning to train your intuition. If so, test it out here. Especially if it's something where you know you're going to have more than one chance to do this. We have 31 retreat and she fell out. So, yeah. Make sure you're taking time for yourself, pile 4. This kind of situation will stress you out a lot, especially because I can feel that people's energy will come after you. Not intentionally, well, sometimes intentionally, but not intentionally. Make sure you're releasing a lot of the negative vibes that people put on you for not choosing them. And then we have use your power. You're very powerful, pile 4, I can tell. You could be you're the tiger, because we do have a tiger here. But I can tell that you're very powerful and you have some influence over what happens. And use your power for good. I know it's easy to just want to give everybody a shot, but really use it for the people that you know deserve it. And if they need it, make sure that they can live up to it. Because I can tell that there's a lot of people who need this, but are they going to be able to do the thing that they need to do for this? Very specific. Oh, and then back of the deck, I like this. Speak your truth. Be very honest. Be honest with people. Be as honest as you can be. Because when you're honest with somebody, then they can't accuse you of being dishonest. You'll know in your heart that you were being truthful to them. And if they want to make it to seem any other way, then that's on them. But at least you know that you were honest. It's a lesson that can be hard learned sometimes. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hey there, pile 5. If you chose pile 5, then we have your reading here for you. Your mystery reading. This is how I used to do readings when I first started. I would ask people to keep their question to themselves, and I would answer it with my cards as best as I could so that they could have some privacy when it came to this. And the less anxious you are about what people ask, then the more answers come through sometimes. At least that's how I saw it. That's how I intuitively was guided to do my readings when I first started. That's no longer the case, of course. I do ask people to ask questions, and every now and then my friends will ask me for cards for a question they have, which that happens. But regardless, we're going to start with your oracles, which will give us a glimpse into what the situation may be. We have you got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. You got the love. This might be a love reading for the majority of you. So if that's not resonating, well, let's look at the rest of the oracles. And if not, you can choose any other pile. We have water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. We have boundaries and watering your garden here. Learning to take time for yourself, even if you're in a relationship, is going to be very important. Or even if you're part of a group for some of you. We also have the Peacekeeper, 49. Equilibrium. I need to censor this. Equilibrium, objectivity, and cooperation. This is giving me very strong Libra energy, where you're having to look at things very objectively. Let me make sure she's not. There we go. Sorry if you saw the top of my head there. But yeah, we're having to look at something objectively and not be swayed by how we feel here. What's another card from this deck for my pile? Pile 5. We have Earth Mother, grounding, rewilding, and nourishment. It's interesting. Both of these sets of cards are very similar, and where one talks about the codependency as well as the cooperation here, like you're talking about people who are together as well as how they are when they're apart. And then the second card talks about grounding, but in this case, nourishment, whether it's through water or earth. There is something here about incorporating all 4 elements into your life in order to live a more balanced life. Because for you, balance isn't just like yin and yang. It's not just masculine and feminine energies here. It's also like all the elements: fire, water, earth, air. Are you the avatar? Okay, so we're gonna get a card from the What's in Your Stars deck. We have Virgo, dedication. A prima ballerina stands on point. To get your goal, you must practice, train yourself through repetition. Find your dedication and make a continuous effort to hone your skills. There is a process underway and you can endlessly improve. I feel like you're a perfectionist, pile 5. I can tell this by the Virgo, but also because there's something here about balance not being enough. You have to find a better form of balance, which is very interesting because I typically see balance as like a duality. You see balance as having every element within yourself balanced somehow, which is very interesting. I've never seen it that way. And if you've never seen it that way, this could be a certain modality that the universe wants to show you right now, that there are all forms of balances, and this is one type of balance that you could use. Also, she is balancing here, by the way, on one foot. So I almost didn't see that. And then we have Pisces, peace or melancholy. A leaf drifts on water. A feeling of peacefulness can make it seem as if you're floating without a care in the world. Melancholy can feel like being submerged in overwhelming currents. Remember that, like a leaf on the surface of a pond, emotions are always moving. Some of you feel that in order to be balanced, you don't have to feel anything. Like you always have to be feeling good. But negative emotions are also a form of balance. Allow yourself to feel negative feelings. Allow yourself to feel, even if it's towards people you love, because we have opposite signs here, Virgo and Pisces. There is like a push and pull here of like, do I want this or do I want that? Or like being on 2 extremes of something. Like if we take relationships, for example, you could either be very hyper independent, you don't want to be with anybody, you are okay alone, you don't want love. And on the other spectrum, you are just such a romantic at heart. You would love to be in a relationship. You would love to be with somebody. You want, you know, the most beautiful, all-consuming love here. And I feel like there's a need for balance and realistic expectations when it comes to this particular situation. Like I said, for the majority of you, there's going to be a love question at hand here. So if that's not resonating, you can ignore it or choose another pile. But let's get more cards for you. We have Wise, Wisdom. We also have the Goddess. This is such a beautiful card. A beautiful card. I will read about it, but it should be noted in case you didn't notice, there's a tiger here. I love that. And the tiger makes me think of raw, pure power. Like the power within yourself. I'm being told to get one more card from this deck. And Warrior. You're a very strong person. A very strong person, pile 5. Because we have Wisdom and Warrior and the Goddess. I wonder if some of you are identify with either the Goddess Freya or the Goddess Athena. I'm also hearing Odin, like a mixture of Freya and Odin. And one thing Freya and Odin in Nordic mythology have in common is that they both claim, is it soldiers on the battlefield with the Valkyries? I can't remember, but they both like to claim, like Odin takes them to the hall takes the warriors who died in battle, and Freya takes the ones who also died in battle. I can't remember what the distinction was, but they both take them to the underworld. Like they claim them once they fall, of course. But there's something here about your wisdom allowing you to be a better fighter or a better person. Like there's wanting to balance everything out in life because you have a perfectionist soul, but sometimes this pushes you to extremes. And I feel like a lot of you are learning to become better from this, and some of you are just like in fight or flight mode. Like you want to find that balance, but it can be a bit much sometimes. It's like you're wanting to keep out of the water, like we have in these two cards. It's like you don't know what realm to operate in, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do feel that some of you are just wishing it would be easier or wishing it would be more balanced. Like you think there's something wrong with you. You think there's an imbalance, and the truth is there's not. This is just life, learning to go with the flow. So from the booklet for the Goddess, we have this card embodies the sacred feminine in all its splendor and light. The goddess possesses all 7 archetypical energies presented in this oracle, including the sensual woman, accomplished woman, mystic, child woman, maternal woman, matriarch, and the Amazon. Keywords: unity, alliance, healing, potential, realization, and recognition. So I see the goddess as like, if at least in this particular pile, in this particular reading, we're seeing her as the embodiment of perfection, being quite literally a goddess. And I feel like some of you want to really obtain this ideal of perfectionism. If you don't identify as a woman, you could take this as seeing yourself as a god here. But the thing is, we're born into a human experience in a human body for a reason. We're not meant to be perfect. All our imperfections themselves are perfect. All the decisions we've made in the past, which were not the best ones, are in their own way perfect because they've led us to where we are, or they've led us to the lesson we needed to learn. And this is where the wisdom comes through, where this wise owl comes through. Anything that didn't completely tear you down, because pretty much nothing did. When you look back, I don't think anything really did. Even if you have wounds, even if you have a scar, you're still here. You're still a warrior. So don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about the extremities in which you are pulled to. I feel like you have to learn how to be at peace with yourself, pile 5. And it took me a minute to get there, because we have the peacekeeper. The thing you're keeping peace with is yourself. You have to be your own peacekeeper, because you are beautiful just as you are. You just need to learn this through grounding. You need to learn this through watering your garden, really pouring back into yourself all those things that you think you don't deserve. Because the whole idea of perfectionism is that we're not enough. And I'm here to tell you, pile 5, you are more than enough. You've always been enough. You will always be enough. You just have to remember and accept that. That is all within you. And like I said, if you have any ugly emotions and you think that makes you any less of a person, that's not true. We all experience ugly emotions. We all think some not so great things, you know? And that's just part of the human experience. We're meant to feel that, acknowledge that we feel that, and let it go, or maybe even deal with it in the most healthy way possible so that we can continue to grow, so that we continue to fight another day and become a little bit closer to this ideal of the goddess or godlike being. With this card, I really do see that you are aiming for perfection, but perfection is really just a state of mind. It's not something you can ever achieve. It's something that you've always been and you always will be. So just be okay with where you are and know that that is still part of the perfection that you yourself are, pile 5. I feel like I went a little bit all over the place with this pile just because it's weird. It's like a push and pull here, like somebody being discontent or at war with themselves. Again, this is why the warrior keeps popping up. But the wisdom that you've learned through all the things that you thought were wrong is worth more than its weight in gold. As I'm looking at this owl, I'm like looking off into the distance, and I have this one candle of an owl. And I'm just looking at it because owls are very important to me. I don't have my little baby owl that I usually keep here, a little soapstone owl, but I feel like if I had, she would have been here. Like I said earlier, I feel like some of you could deal with the goddess. I said Freya. Did I also say Athena? I don't remember, but regardless, Athena's coming through for some of you who are very much Athena goddess worshippers. But let's move on to the tarot portion, which may or may not resonate with what I just spoke about, but it should give you some insight into the question at hand, and or give you more insight into something you should be focusing on, because sometimes spirit comes through and wants to tell you something completely different. We're going to do this past, present, future style, and I'm going to get 3 cards for each section. So for the past energy, we have, this card wanted to come out, we have Ace of Cups, rebirth. Current energy, we have 2 of Wands, planning. For future energy, we have the Star, rejuvenation, but I see this as hope more than anything. For some of you, it will be a rejuvenation in that you're starting over some aspect of your life that you thought you were too late for. Like you thought that you had missed the train, or that you had missed the ship, whatever the expression is here, that you had missed the boat, that's what it is, on a particular thing. But you're going to see that you're going to get a second chance here, or that it's going to come back. Not back of the deck. This is past energy, the Hanged One, surrender. You're changing your mind about something that you used to put your heart into. Current energy, we have, oh, okay. Not gonna lie, pile 5, you may not want to hear this, but some person from your past is going to come back around. I'm not saying it's an ex, but it could be somebody that you either didn't give fully a chance, or maybe it just didn't work out because it wasn't the right time, but someone's going to come back around. Future energy. Okay, you get 2. We have the nostalgia card, 6 of Cups with memories, but you also have this one, 4 of Cups with contemplation. You never really fully let this person go. You never fully let or if it's not a person, it could be an opportunity or a dream. You never really fully let this go, and that's part of the reason it's coming back. But I'm not saying you didn't let it go and that you were stuck on it or that you were obsessed with it. Like, it wasn't a healthy attachment. It wasn't an unhealthy attachment. It was something that it's been in your heart because it belonged there, you know? I feel like you and this person were really a good match, but like I said, circumstances wouldn't allow you to be together, or maybe you or this person weren't ready, or you were in a different connection and it was just not the time. Let's get more clarification on these piles. To clarify past energy, lots of water energy. Pile 5, if you have emotions to release, by all means do so, because I feel like you're just at war with yourself here when it comes to how you feel about either a particular person, a past connection, or even just how you approach love in general. But you've always had choices, and I feel like in the past you didn't choose this person because you changed your mind, or you were going through some sort of shift in your life. So somebody made more sense than somebody else, and that's okay. You were just doing the best you could with the information or the feelings you had at the time. So let's look at your current energy. We have 3 of Swords. You're still healing from a past connection when this person comes in. This is a whole different connection, by the way. This is something that you're not even attached to anymore. It hurt your feelings, but the feelings are not even there anymore, so you're just hurt. That's what I'm hearing. Very odd, I know. It's like your feelings are hurt, but your feelings are also not in it. So you're just hurt. And then future energy. Justice. Ooh, karma is coming through. Karma for everybody is coming through. Everybody is getting exactly what they deserve, is what I'm hearing. Back of the deck energy. Ace of Pentacles. So if this is a romantic connection, if this is a romantic kind of question or idea or situation you have on your mind, the next thing you start, or whatever you are starting next with your person, is going to be something that is very long lasting. It's going to have a much more solid foundation. The opportunity is going to represent itself, and it's also going to be something you can build off of. This is going to be something that is a lot more stable. Underneath that, yeah, this is the Knight of Pentacles. So it may be slow moving, but for good reason. When you know somebody is your soulmate, essentially, do you care how long it takes for them to get through to you, for you to finally get together? You know what, don't answer that question. I have Venus in Aries. Like, I immediately thought no as I heard myself say that. But for the sane people out there who don't have Venus in Aries, like my crazy ass here, yes, you want a solid, stable foundation. You want things to move at a great pace, even if it's taking it a little bit slow, because when you allow a relationship to go a little bit more slow, you can think things thoroughly a lot more. So the past energy lets me know that the choices you made in the past have not been the best ones. You were just choosing what you thought you knew you wanted, or what you were working with at the time. Whatever made more sense is what you were choosing. And if you have any regrets there, again, you were working with what you knew at the time. You have nobody to blame. There's no blame here. There's no need to bring guilt into this. This is just what you were working with. And the current energy is that when you're presented with somebody, and if you know they're going to break your heart, you're going to turn the other way. You're very intuitively guided, pile 5. Whether you actively do this or not, I can tell that you're just learning to make better decisions when it comes to the people you keep in your life, and that includes your love life. And even if you do experience heartbreak, because I feel like some of you are currently healing from a heartbreak, you're going to know how to move on. The King of Cups can be somebody who loves you, but if you wanted to embody this particular energy yourself, it's you giving yourself the most love that you deserve, that nobody else has the guts to show you. You're going to show that to yourself. And you do this by avoiding heartbreak, or by identifying what could potentially break your heart and moving on from it. So it's like you're avoiding the heartbreak, if that makes any sense. And I feel like both of these can coincide at the same time. You can be both heartbroken and be understanding this particular energy. With the future energy, lots of beautiful things are coming through. Mostly that something that was meant for you is going to come back around and be for you this time. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a dream that you've had since you were a child. There's a lot of very childlike energy here. Not childish, but childlike. And that you keep true to your inner heart. You keep true to the things that make you happy, that keep you feeling safe as well. But you're also going to see karma come through. Because yes, we have balance, but I'm seeing karma. Like, people who do you wrong, they're going to get what they deserve. And people who do you right, they're also going to get what they deserve, which is a beautiful thing. They're going to get good things that they deserve. And I'm seeing reciprocity, the biggest thing for you right now, because you were so used to being in an energy of imbalance. You're going to start seeing the balance come through. You are going for people who can give you exactly what you can also give them. Whatever you can give to them, they're going to give back to you in equal amounts, and maybe even more. Because I really do feel that you deserve this energy, pile 5. Very beautiful energy. Learning from heartbreak and understanding that no one can truly break your heart, because your heart is your own and not theirs. Even if you try to give it away to them, it's your own heart, not theirs. Beautiful energy. But let's move on to your closing advice. I hope that helped answer some aspect of what you were thinking or asking. Or at the very least, it gave you advice into what is going on in your life. For those of you who didn't have a question. Because I know some people just come here for fun. They click on a pile that calls to them, and, they just have fun. I know I do. But let's go ahead and get your closing advice for my beautiful pile 5. I'm hearing 3 cards. We have, what does your soul say? Listen to your soul. Some of you have been ignoring it, and your soul kind of wants to come out and play and have fun. We also have Fierce Serenity. This is going to be coinciding with the Strength card in the tarot. You are taming some aspect of yourself. Maybe that perfectionism that you were holding on to very strongly. or even like a high standard that you are setting for some aspect of your life. We also have unstick the stuck. Yeah, we are unsticking the stuck. Also notice these are all blue. A lot of this is within your own throat chakra, and my own throat chakra has been very scratchy as I got into this reading. It could be because I've been talking for a long time. This is the 5th pile, but also look at every modality within your throat chakra or within your area of expression. There is something that needs to be resolved there, even if it's just the words you say yourself to yourself. And then we have 2 cards from the Hephaes Oracle, or the Wisdom of Hephaes Oracle. For my lovely pile 5, we have take the opportunity. This is the second time the word opportunity came through. I feel like you're going to step into an area of opportunity where you're going to be given either a second chance or a chance at something that doesn't come through very often. Number 34 is here, by the way. I was being told to say that. We also have 62, 8, and 46. Why do I feel like I'm saying lottery numbers? If you win the lottery due to these numbers, you have to tell me. You don't have to give me anything. You just have to tell me. One last card. We have Risk and Dare, 35. Risk and Dare. You're more willing to take risks now because you know that you are all you need and you don't need anybody else. Ooh, that's a song from Radiohead. There was another pile that had a Radiohead song come up, but the song is called All I Need. You're all I need. I think the song itself is a lot more depressing, so maybe don't listen to it, because now that I'm thinking about the lyrics, they're not great. But you are all you need, pile 5. You know this, you understand this. So that allows you to take the risks, knowing that nobody can break your heart because it's yours. And back of the deck energy, because I was drawn to it. Offer up gratitude. Just remember to keep that gratitude. I feel like you already do, but just a small reminder. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, or even if you would like to claim it, you can do so in the comments. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care.